Hey guys, it's Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the changes to Tailwind and Tribes and another alternative to Tailwind, which is BoardBooster. Now, I know that Tailwind has been like a pretty much industry standard for people to use recently. In the past year, I've seen a huge push towards using Tailwind, which is I believe at least is due to a lot of information going out that they're API approved through Pinterest. Now, I don't really understand API approval, but back last January when I was hearing about this and being told, okay, you're going to see a huge boost in your traffic if you use Tailwind because it's approved by Pinterest, I decided to switch over to Tailwind, of course, because I wanted to make sure that I was getting the most I could out of my scheduler. I also like that Tailwind was sort of an unlimited plan. Like I could pay a certain amount and it would I could pin as much as I wanted. The Tribes feature was really neat as well. But recently they decided to charge quite a bit more for Tribes, and I understand that a lot of people are interested in changing. I actually just changed back from Tailwind to BoardBooster again recently because I had a baby. And I knew that when I had the baby, I was going to be doing a lot more mobile pinning. I have a lot of time where I'm just kind of sitting. You know, whether it be because all my kids fell asleep in the back of the car and I need to pin from my phone. It just gives me something to do besides play Candy Crush. So I wanted to be able to do that without having to grab my computer. I'm not leaving the baby in the car or the kids in the car and grabbing a computer to bring out to the car. So I needed to be able to pin from my phone, and I didn't really like how Tailwind was set up for that. BoardBooster has a pretty easy system. You're pretty much creating a bunch of private boards, and you pin to them, and then BoardBooster pushes them through to your main boards on the schedule that you set up. I find this very, very easy. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to use BoardBooster here. You have a bunch of different tools. You have campaign, scheduler, looping, and tribes. Tribes is a new feature. I'm going to show you that at the end. So, I don't use every single service here. Like, I don't use any of this here, the campaigns. I use the scheduler. And for each of my big boards, I have, including group boards, I have set up to schedule a certain number of times a day. Now with group boards, what I do is I pull up the group board on Pinterest in a separate window. And sorry. What I will do is I will look through and find the board's rules. And the reason I do that is because I don't want my pin schedule to be set up so that I get kicked out of the group board. That would not be helpful for me. Let's see if I can find a group board here. Sorry, should have had this up already. I like this particular board because it's very niche specific. So basically, I will go to my group board and I'll look at the rules. Okay, it can only be food and recipes. Don't spam, all that good stuff. Usually group boards have a few more rules than this, but I will go over to my Adventures in Eatery and I will set up how often I want my pins to go through to here. And I have this set up to 1 or less pins a day. I don't have a lot of food content, so I want to slow it down a little. And I will do 1 pin per 5 days. I can set up the pin time, add a random delay so it'll just pin whenever. And I put all of my food content into the secret board and it will rotate. I have it set to keep on the source board and it starts pinning over when it finishes all of my pins. I can also remove it from the source board if the group board has a rule that you should only pin each pin once. And that's how you do that. You just click this. Or you can click when all the pins have published, stop. And then I just save and continue on my way and set up all of the other ones. So pretty easy to set up. And again, I use that quite a bit for all of my boards. Looping is another option. You can loop all of the pins that you put on a board. I only do this for my personal board that only posts my DIY Danielle content. And I have that set to 2 times a day. I can spread it between certain times and which days of the week. And as you can see, I have a lot of options here. And with looping, let's see. Wow, they added some new things. I haven't looked at this recently. I have it protected for viral duplicates because what happens is when you repin, it will look for you and see if a pin fails that is a repin from another pin on that board that's been looped. It will delete the one that has the least pins. And that's fine, except for I don't want it to delete it if it's got a lot of pins. So if it's had 50 repins, I'll keep that. And you can also protect for pins with comments. So again, I only set this up for my personal board. I don't need to repin other people's content to my other boards. I only need my own stuff doing that. Now, this is tribes here, and I had just set this up just a few minutes ago. So you are going to see a board that's really not set up yet. Now, let me show you how to create a tribe. This is really neat. I was just looking at it because I was like, okay, they have tribes. Let me see what this looks like. Create a tribe. You set up your tribe name, food, which I'm going to delete this because I don't really do food content, but wow. Food and recipes. Let's go on. Okay, so to set it up, you're going to configure. You can do type of tribe, open or private. You can approve new members by voting or automatically, and you can write the number of pins each member can do. Accept only rich pins. I'm actually turning that off because a lot of people are turning off rich pins on their blogs, and I'm one of those people. You can approve new pins by voting or automatically. You can do an aspect ratio, like if you only want tall pins or you want tall or squares, fine. And then you can limit your daily volume. The reason this is appealing is because on tribes for Tailwind, I noticed a lot of people were spamming the boards, and it's really frustrating for me because I refuse to spam, and I felt like a lot of times my pins didn't get seen as a result. I tend to be pretty strictly following the rules for any boards or tribes that I'm in. I do not want to mess up. So continue. You can create your own content policy. In this case, I'm going to write food, and I'm going to remove free of hashtags just because now Pinterest likes hashtags. So I'm just copying and pasting this because I'm going to delete this in a minute. So here's voting history. You can invite new members. You just add their Pinterest profile address, and it will email them an invite. And you select your board that you want those pins to go to. So I would click food, and then apparently now this tribe will then rotate all of the pins that get put on this board. I haven't set it up completely yet, so I'll find out how that works once I have enough people. Now, this is the only annoying part, is that you have to upload the pins manually. So you have to go to Pinterest and grab each pin that you're submitting, the pin address, and then you add them to here. And then once you do that, it looks like all those tribe pins will publish to your personal food folder, up to 3 pins a day from the times you set up, so that you're definitely sharing everyone's content. This is one reason you may want to turn on voting for the pins, just to make sure that nothing bad gets added. But I have to assume that if you're limiting the pins to only allowing people to pin 12 pins total, that probably people are going to be pretty careful about what they submit. And I'm assuming you can opt to delete it as the leader of the tribe. But again, I need to get some people added to mine so that I can look and see how that works. But I'm really digging this. I am not digging the fact that I have to add all my pins, but I love how much control I have over what is going on and then how it all automates at the end. Okay, so you also have some options for maintenance tools. You have Pin Mover, which I move mine manually on Pinterest. It's easier and it's cheaper. Pin Doctor, it does charge you money to find your bad pins, and Group Manager. I have not used Group Manager. I've used Pin Doctor. I'm not sure how helpful it is. I will let you know. My friend used Pin Doctor and went through and fixed all of the pins, and she said that she saw a rise in traffic afterwards. Just to show you, I had 6,000 pins that I paid $60 to use the Pin Doctor on, and you can go and view it. I actually went through and fixed a bunch of these, so you're not going to see all of the things, but like it showed me a bunch of pins with missing links, pins with broken links, pins that link to suspicious websites with redirects, and I could show you that one. I think I still have some on there. Let's see. Okay, so here are some people that had redone and redirected. Now, I don't know if it's really hurting me that these are still on there, but for projects with 0, actually for lower repin counts, a lot of them I just deleted instead of fixing. But you can also just say, okay, well, I know all these are legit pins, so I'm just going to dismiss this and ignore it because I don't mind that Paleo Magazine changed their whatever. What was I going to say? Oh, or if I want to change it, I can just click on the pin, go over here, and edit this right here. So I would just copy and paste the correct pin info. This is a ridiculous amount of work though, and for some reason sometimes the website, it doesn't allow me to change the website. So yeah, I can fix it, it's whatever. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but I would then click that and then dismiss. But I am probably not going to do that for anything with 0 repins. It's just not worth it. So I'll probably just delete those. If I had something with like 100 repins, I am definitely going to fix it just in case it will help. And I'll probably, if I see it's got 100 repins, at the same time I might repin it to another board, because the more viral pins you have on a board, it seems like the better that board does. Now, I assume, but that's the word on the street, I guess. I'm not a Pinterest guru necessarily. I don't know. Okay, the other thing you can do is you can run reports on your follower growth and pinning history and all that good stuff, which is pretty useful. I don't really mess with it too much, but I like the board performance option so I could see my repin rate. I don't think the duplicate pins thing is correct because I do duplicate pins on some of my posts, but I space them out quite a bit, so maybe it doesn't count those. I don't know. But it gives you your repin rate and how many pins per month you're adding to each one. You can go to account. There's a referral program. If you sign up using my link, I get $5. Not huge, but whatever. Not really a big deal. Payment settings, I'm not going to click on that because I don't want you seeing any of my credit card information, nothing personal. And then account settings, let's see. Pinning is on. I'm showing you this because here we are. One of the things I like is that duplication controls are on here. Delay new pins that are among 30 of the most recent pins on the board. And the minimum interval for reposting a pin to the same board is 30 days. This just keeps me from spamming my boards on accident. I really like that. I think that's a good setting. So that's BoardBooster. I'm going to write a little bit on my blog post about using BoardBooster versus Tailwind. So feel free to check that out. Alrighty, take care. Bye.